So we are here in our brand new series, in the semi-finals of the Kashynical Open Cup. And we are on Curious Minds. Curious indeed who's gonna take this. As we have the Blue Zerg player representing South Korea and KyZ. It is Solar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds ALE, we have the Mexican Terran player. He is red, representing Storm Gaming. It is SpeCial.
Also, Thorn is asking if English has dialects. I mean, it does. What Yaku is talking about is Singlish, and he doesn't speak it, so...
Yeah, there's also, as they're saying, you know, there's Aussie English, right? There's British English, right? There's American English. They all have different accents. I don't know if accent really means dialect, though. It's close enough.
I mean, I think Australian is the better example because you have like specific words that are just different. Like, I guess British and American is the most difference, but yeah. I don't know. I guess dialect would be more like you know, different parts of Great Britain, I guess, would count more as a dialect. But then again, Welsh is like its own language, so like, you know,
it's, you know, languages are complicated. It's a bit complicated. Oh god. Thorn is saying, so you definitely won't be covering DreamHack Last Chance Open Qualifier. So we did cast the Open Qualifier for Asia, Thorn. And we will be covering the DreamHack Last Chance Closed Qualifier for NA. But as you said, I don't think we will be covering the Open Qualifier for NA, which is in a couple of hours, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think they will be awake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the problem is that I'll be honest, I'm fairly certain that the Open Qualifier for DreamHack Last Chance NA is going to clash with ESL Asia. It's gonna run into it.
Probably.
So... regardless, we'd have to pick one or the other, sort of thing.
As this Reaper is clashing into the Zerg base.
Oh, the surround! Oh my god!
Wow.
So this is what happens when you point out a Reaper, okay? You put pressure on him, and then he gets all nervous, alright?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this.
Oh god, so a bit of a feels bad, man. SpeCial got a little bit too ambitious with that Reaper, and it does go down. Ay, ay, ay. Bearing in mind that here in the land of the Americas, SpeCial does have the ping advantage.
Solar killed the cleaning bot.
He wants things
It's not
dirty.
as bad as cleaning the dog, but still.
Well, if you let the cleaning bot roam free, it's going to clear up all the creep.
Good point, yeah. Yeah, I guess Zergs want their base dirty.
Also, I'm pretty sure he didn't kill the cleaning bot. It's still there. He killed the rocks.
No, there were two. There were two, I think.
Never mind.
I think. Maybe.
Maybe
I'm wrong. Somebody check the replay.
Oh, and it's happening. I love it. SpeCial does this every now and then. Maybe like once every couple of months. SpeCial, if you can see, is going for a Hellbat Ghost Push.
Yeah. Actually, didn't I see that on your stream today?
Yeah, I hit this on the ladder earlier today. Oh my god. But yeah, I think even as I was hitting it on the ladder, I think I even mentioned SpeCial's name. Like SpeCial and before him, TY as well, they would like throw this into a best of series. Obviously TY is in the military now. But yeah, this is a great thing to just whip out like every now and then and really catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah, I mean, ghosts are generally not something you expect in like fairly early game. But Solar does see them with this Overlord.
Yeah, feels bad, man. The Overlord gets in. To be fair, Ling got in as well, so Solar, he sees the Ghost Academy, he sees everything, and now he's going to be getting ready. Roach Warren is thrown down. We have a mass amount of Lings as well. You don't want to be draining up too much. You want to make sure you have enough army to deal with this as it hits. And fun fact, this is a variant without an armory. It's just Hellions and Ghosts instead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was scouted, so might as well. But I guess he was planning for this early attack. But the Lings are in the base in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. Lings do go across the map. They force everything back home. The Ghost Push does nothing. Sure, he was able to snipe a Queen, which is nice, but he loses 5 SCVs and the entire army comes back home.
Yeah, that was actually quite, I don't want to say disastrous, but that was quite a few losses for SpeCial. But he's trying once again Once again, the queens are ready, but are they enough?
Mate, the snipes are pretty good. The snipes one-shot these queens. So, again, the snipes are here to deal with the queens, and then the Hellions get into the mineral line. But the roaches come out just in time. And at the same time, Solar is across the map with another big ling run by. Up!
Yeah, for a moment I thought he was gonna trap this army, but instead he goes for the reinforcements, and he's catching all of these Hellions.
Oh my god, nice surrounds on a couple of those Hellions. Boys are pulled to help provide a little bit of buffer, a little bit of SimCity, but the Lings still get on top of them, and still more workers come down, and once again, for the second time, everything just comes back home.
Yeah, things are not going great for SpeCial, despite him having quite an interesting army, and there are Widow Mines now as well. I don't know what these attacks are.
Yeah, he's overextending a little bit here. The Widow Mine shots do go off and help take down some of these roaches. Lings, though, they're hitting that third base, and they're going to force it to lift.
Oh, a snipe on Ravager, that's nice, but yeah, it all depends how much pressure Solar actually puts here. I think he's just happy denying the space, because behind this he's droning up, he's getting his lair. Like, he just wants to keep SpeCial at bay.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. He is happy just keeping SpeCial on 2 bases and droning up from here, finally working on that lair, working on a better, more rounded army. Widow Mine shot goes off, almost deals some friendly fire. I'm sure that's what Solar was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this is not enough roaches to actually do anything to SpeCial right now, so he's gonna take his third eventually, but the question is, what can he do to Solar?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that SpeCial has really been slowing down, and he's playing mech, by the way, if that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
He has been slowing down, and because of his composition, like, this army isn't that great to harass. There are Hellions, sure, but there are no Cyclones. There are 2 Ghosts, but they're so slow in comparison. They don't really work well together as a unit, as a harassing force. So SpeCial's gonna have a hard time finding damage from here on out, and Solar should be able to get his 4th base up unhindered. As I say that, though, we need a 4th base pretty soon, mate.
Yeah, like, he needs to also make it to get, take it. Yeah, to actually put the hatchery down. Solar?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. that's what I'm... There we go. 4th base is on the way. In one of the more exposed bases, but I mean, he's aware of where the ghosts are. He wants to make sure it gets up. Oh!
There you go. Yeah, it looks like SpeCial is more interested in like the top half of the map, so I guess it's actually an okay position for the 4th base for Solar. And the roaches, if in high enough numbers, should be able to easily deal with these Hellions as long as he keeps an eye on them.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what these Lings were. We do see Solar rotate around towards the south because he did have control of that watchtower. He knows exactly where the Hellions are as they do dip into creep, and Solar's already in position to help deal with them. Speaking of, I love this response. Cham does this quite often, and it looks like Solar does it as well. Against mech, against a slow mech style like this, go for Swarm Hosts.
Oh yeah, that's pretty useful, because I mean, as you said, like this style of mech with all the Thors, all the tanks, they're not particularly fast units, so sending a wave of locusts on them can actually be quite disastrous for the Terran.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this kind of style, this kind of Zerg composition can struggle a little bit against Ferrari mech, so against Hellion Cyclone, but without any Cyclones, like without a very maneuverable army, then honestly these Swarm Hosts can get a lot done, but they have to be careful. There's a lot of Hellions here, and he's actually powering through all these roaches. Cool.
Yeah. SpeCial actually reached the critical number of Hellions when he's starting to win these fights, but as we say that, he gets sandwiched, so...
Yeah, there we go. Solar, he had more than enough roaches, and now in come those Swarm Hosts. He has a couple of options. He can hit a CC if he wants, or he could try and dive on top of these tanks, but the Thors come out just in time to shoot them down!
The Hellbats are there to help with the locusts, but... Oh, they actually cleaned them enough in time. Yeah. SpeCial holds.
Yeah, exactly. It was so important to SpeCial to get out these Thors, because Thors do make short work of the Locusts, and the Hellbats were in a great position as well on those tanks. That's also why I'm a little bit critical of Solar here. Like, he could have sent the Locust Wave to like the natural base or something instead to deal some economic damage. Here, he only picked up a tank.
Yeah, and he did see there was a lot of Hellbats on the ground as well, and they deal with Locusts fairly easily, so maybe that wasn't like the best spot to land all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have like went around this army.
Regardless, to be fair, like, he has another wave ready to go, and he's going to keep getting more waves. He wants to try and break the army. He wants to go for a kill move. Once again, nice positioning on those Locust waves, but he doesn't get any of the tanks, actually, this time.
Yeah, he got the HP very low, but he did not snipe any of the bigger mech units, so... Yeah, I'm not sure these waves are worth it. And as we know, Swarmhorse take quite a bit of supply. Yeah,
it feels a little bit... I don't know, like, a little bit overeager. Like, it looks like he wants to brute force his way through and just win the game, right? But because, like, now 2 waves have kind of been wasted, now, like, SpeCial is getting another base up and running. Like, he's getting closer to maxed out, and that is the scary thing.
Oh yeah, maxed out Terran mech army of all things. That is pretty scary for the Zerg.
Definitely.
Ooh,
meanwhile, we have another Locust wave. This one will get on top of a tank. Not just one, but maybe even 2, as it does get a couple of extra units. At the same time, the Roach Ravager's trying to push in, but actually gets a decent amount of SCVs. Yeah, he got the transferring SCVs from the base that SpeCial is trying to establish. But at the same time, the Terran army is trying to go deeper and deeper into the creep, so this is a dangerous dance. Yeah, it really is. You could argue one thing, and that is that, hey, as long as Solar keeps SpeCial in 3 bases, it doesn't matter how inefficiently he trades. Like, as long as he's able to keep the economy of SpeCial low, and killing 16 SCVs like that, totally worth it. Totally worth it. And one other thing, this entire time he's been keeping these Swarmhosts alive. They haven't been getting the most value, but they're still trading so efficiently. Oh, they may. Oh, I was okay. Caster cares. I almost said that the Thor is gonna go down, so he didn't. Yeah, the Thor doesn't go down. SpeCial pushes this all the way back, and this is a little bit scary. Swarmhosts aren't ready for a fight right now. If SpeCial keeps on pushing, then Solar's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. But SpeCial, he's just securing himself here. He's just making sure he gets a base up and running. Yeah, this small army though is probably gonna eventually get cleaned up if it hangs around too long. So I like that SpeCial does bring the SCVs for repairs. That's very nice for this army. Yeah, very nice indeed. Meanwhile, in comes Locust. The tanks are unsieged! Oh no! SpeCial, please! Yeah, the Taurs go down. I think some of the tanks too, but there are so many Cyclones left over now. Yeah, at the same time, we had some Borrowed Roaches going to the natural and the main base. At the same time, SpeCial is losing workers left and right, and that was a great fight. Sure, Solar didn't kill the entire army, but he got a lot of those tanks, he got a lot of those Thors, and now he's ready to clean up whatever's left. That was such an unfortunate unborrowed. The roach just popped out of the ground to be completely demolished by the tank shots. Yeah, they popped up a little bit too soon, to be fair, but he gets all the tanks, literally every single one. Yeah, cleans up the tanks. It's basically just the Ferrari mech now. Yeah, and that's important to point out. SpeCial was transitioning into Mass Cyclone, and Mass Cyclone is a great way to deal with not just Roach Ravager, but also Swarmhosts as well, and hunt them down. Solar needs to realize this, and he needs to get Infestors. He needs to get something else to help deal with this very mobile mech army. And here we had a great example of why the Swarmhosts are not great against this composition, as the Locusts were trying to chase the Cyclones, and now the Roaches are catching up to them. Yeah, exactly, that they are. Like, the Roaches, sure, they're getting picked off one after the other, but they're trading well. And look at SpeCial's, like, look at his income, look at his army right now. Like, he's lost so much, he's really struggling to replenish his incredibly expensive mech army. And she's caught. Solar, with his relentless attacks, does it. GG. Over time, the Locust Wave slowly whittled down SpeCial's army, and then we had the Roach counterattacks, the run-bys, the denial of the 4th base, and SpeCial, like, he just couldn't keep trading the way that he was. Yeah. Oh. And with that, GG. Solar takes game 1. And the first game of the best of 3 semifinals, so you know, this is only a best of 3, so you know, one more game and Solar may take this. That's an important thing to note. In these semifinals, it's not a best of 5, it's a best of 3. Solar just needs one more win and he moves on to the grand finals. I wonder who's gonna face there. Right now we have a Laser in the other semi-final, and he's still waiting for Geralt and Soul, aka Spirit. Yes, regardless of who either these players face, It's going to be a Polish player.
Yes. The bottom of the bracket is full Poland.
Yes.
Poland is taking over this bracket.
Speaking of Poland in that lower half of the bracket, I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out, as we may have to remake the lobby. I did want to give a bit of a shout out to Chance. I'm very impressed. Chance actually 2-1'd Art. I was not expecting that. So yeah, Chance obviously ended up getting knocked out of the tournament, but pretty good showing.
Oh, that's very nice by Chance. So what happened?
They're on US West. I mean Central, sorry.
Nice.
Not Central. Yeah.
Very nice.
Both of them are like, what?
Yeah, both of them just sent faces like, what? What?
It's like no one wants to be here, not the Korean or the Mexican. It's like US Central is not the place to be.
Actually, isn't Central good for Mexico?
No, West is actually the best for Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Mexico specifically, not Latin America, just Mexico.
Yeah. I thought it would be Central, but I guess makes sense. And now we go for the great match of Solar versus Indie.
Let's go!
I mean, Indie plays in ESL Open Cups.
True.
So, you know.
He does pull a pig.
He is an active participant. He's not just a caster, definitely.
Definitely.
By the way, have you ever watched Indie's stream?
I have not.
It's something. His production value is very different, but it's very his.
What does that mean? It's very different. What does that mean?
He has like lights set up in the room where he's casting, and like you can redeem points to just flash like colorful lights in his room.
That's cool.
And like sometimes he casts in like complete dark, and it's just the lights flashing around, like the colorful lights. It's like, what is going on?
That's fun. I love that. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's great because it also doesn't really disrupt the cast either. Like he can just show cam, sure, but it's not like a big audio thing or anything like that. Like
yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it disrupts him because you know when you suddenly get lights flashing around you, to each their own, I guess. But anyway, we are on 2K atmospheres, the 2000 atmospheres. This time on correct server, I assume. Hold on, I'm reading. I don't understand. Anyway, we have the Blue Zerg player representing South Korea and KyZ. It is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 atmospheres, LE. I guess they're probably talking about the build.
Yeah,
from
they're talking about things being OP or bad.
Okay. Lurker Shiba. It's spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 atmospheres ALE. We have the Mexican Terran player representing Storm Gaming. Complaining about lurkers, it is SpeCial.
Yeah, there are a few words I recognize, and one of them is sreggy, which is garbage, and the other is saggy, which is something comparable to OP.
Yep.
So yes, this is balance one probably.
I always remember Seregi because of Crank's channel.
Yes.
He had like an emote for Seregi, right?
Thank you, Crank. Sreggy game.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Oh god.
But yeah, here we are in this ZVT. Nothing suspicious. No proxies. No crazy stuff. Just some chat rush, as some people call it.
Yeah. You know, they're just having a little bit of bants, but they're good friends. Both SpeCial and Solar, so they're just kind of banting between the two.
I think I know this one. I think this means go easy on me. I think so. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Treat me gently, puppy. Oh god. Well, what I will say is, first things first, SpeCial, you got to make sure you don't lose your initial Reaper. If you remember, in game number 1, he lost it immediately for free.
Yeah, that would be a good start. I mean, so far so good. Yeah.
Some really fancy micro here. The Queen pops out and will force this Reaper all the way back. Oh.
Hello. Let it regenerate, please.
I mean, he does get a link for his trouble, so at least he gets that. Not the biggest of deals, though. But what we really have to pay attention to, and what we're looking at, is what SpeCial goes for. As, oh, he actually goes for a more economic opener, 3rd CC, before Starport.
Yeah. I mean, after the first game where he was contained on his I guess 3 bases, with some attacks from Solar, I guess he wants to go into a more economical game this time, and just do what he has planned.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh god, I guess that's what he wants at the moment. So we show off the CranKy Ducklings there in the middle. But
Aggie.
yeah,
this plays Aggie.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Kuro is like our pseudo Korean translator. She knows some words. Some words.
I can read. That's about it. I don't know what it means, but I can read it.
Beautiful. But yeah, honestly, I'll be surprised if we see Mech again. Like, SpeCial is one of the players to mix in Mech, not just in this matchup, but in every single matchup, even against Protoss. But it's something that he typically mixes in. It isn't necessarily something that he relies on.
Yeah, he's generally a person on many builds, as we found out when we were casting the King of the Hill tournament. And he's going for something that may make Yakuzaku happy.
What will make him happy?
He goes for Liberators.
What will
That's
make
something
him happy?
that Yaku likes to do.
What will make him happy is if he goes lib range. Then.
I mean, look. You can't have everything. Okay?
Then Yaku will pop off in the chat. But I love this, especially he's going for a multi-pronged attack. We have a Liberator headed towards the natural base. At the same time, we have a group of Hellions looking to dive into the natural. One of these is looking to deal some damage. Oh!
Yeah, there are a lot of queens on the front, so I guess the Hellions will be denied, but that means the Liberator can sneak into the natural.
Yeah, the Spore finishes, but just not in time and in the wrong position as well. The Queens are needed here at the natural base as one drone goes down. A lot lost mining time, but the Queens have to stand strong here at the 3rd, otherwise the Hellions will just dive in.
Yeah, they are actually moving to deal with the Liberator, I believe. Yeah, most of them are on the way. So the Hellions now can go into the 3rd base.
Yeah, this is dangerous. There's only 2 queens here. Thankfully, though, there are a wave of Lings. The Lings will force all these Hellions back, and Solar defends all of his bases, but will lose a handful of drones.
The five drones is not a huge number, though, considering how much army SpeCial is throwing around. But still, it is damage.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse. Could have been worse there for Solar,
Yeah.
so... Again, you've got to commend him for defending as well as he did. He was able to keep units wherever he needed them. And now, I was talking about how SpeCial doesn't rely on Mech, and I stand by that. But here, he is going for Mech 2 games in a row.
He is, but he is going for the Hellion Cyclone Mech. So, every time it's slightly different.
Split, Papi, split! The boys, they're so good! They're all bunched up there! Solar, please!
They were running away for a moment, and then they were like, you know what? Screw the Hellions. So they just attacked, and it's like, oh no!
Aye, Solar, please. 9 more drones go down. SpeCial is finding a lot of damage, and to be fair, I'm pretty sure Solar just didn't expect that many Hellions. Because Solar, up until now, didn't see the Mech. Finally, he confirms all these factories, but the continued Hellion production really caught him off guard.
Yeah, he did not expect that many Hellions virus, and they are not stopping. They are coming to the other base now. So while Solar has a lot of defenses in his 3rd, this 4th is quite vulnerable.
Oh yeah, 4th base is still on the way. Cyclones rock up, and they're going to be focusing down some of these Overlords. It's going to be a little bit annoying. Going to be supply blocking Solar a little bit here, but the rest of his army is about to rock up. Doesn't have main speed though, but will just now. And all the Overlord survives, by the way.
I mean, look, they can fly.
They can.
The Banes, they almost rolled into this army.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. On creep, sure, it's possible, but off creep, you're gonna be losing everything. Speaking of losing everything, somehow, someway, a couple of Lings actually slip into the natural base, and oh my god, a surprising amount of workers are dying.
Yeah, actually, this is not dealt with in time. And 10 workers go down, and more army of Solar is on the map as well.
Yeah, exactly. A beautiful Ling run by. Honestly, this should never have happened. It was only a handful of Lings, but they popped off. They killed so many of those workers, and now we have some Bailing run bys. Both looking to dive into the natural base and the third at the same time. Oh, special respond. Oh god! Oh god! The SCVs! Oh god, as you know what, they don't just crash into the SCVs, they also crash into the Hellions as well. 8 workers go down. And now Special, sure, he may be looking to counterattack, but his army is looking so much weaker than it otherwise would have been.
Yeah, those Banelings didn't look all that scary, but when you have a lot of them just rolling into these, clumped units, they do a lot of damage. And yeah, now it's mostly a Cyclone army against these roaches. I guess you can kite them pretty well, right?
Well, that's the problem, right? You just mentioned it. Up until now, it was just Ling Bane from Solar, but now enough time has passed where he has roaches. Roach speed just finishes up in time for this fight as well. So now it's going to be so much harder for Special to really break the Zerg player and get any damage done.
But the Liberators are still there. Still looking for damage.
Yeah, the queens are pulled back to help deal with them, and 3 queens should be enough, especially with transfuse. But there we go, transfuses are more than enough.
Okay, that was very brave, but it worked.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, and a couple of Cyclones are getting picked off as well.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And this Bailing Roach army is rolling into the Terran, and can the tanks stop them?
Honestly, I think they can. 5 tanks, you don't want to be pushing into that. They do just shell away at Solar's army. But Solar was able to chase down some of those Cyclones, weaken things to move into the later stage of the game. And that's what I'm looking at right now. Infestation Pit is thrown down. Does Solar want to go into Swarm Host again?
I just had my PTSD triggered when I saw roaches running into tanks. You guys have the Zergs know the feeling when you take your army and then there are tanks on the high ground and you're like, oh no, what have I done?
Mistakes were made. A lot of mistakes were made. Speaking of mistakes, Hellion run by, but we have a Spine. It's going to get picked off. Only 2 drones go down. And with this Solar, he's double expanding. He's getting his 5th base and his 6th base up and running.
Oh, SpeCial is adding Banshees to the mix. That's an interesting idea.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I mean, with this Roach Link army, there's not a lot of anti-air, so I guess that can help a bit.
Yeah.
Like, Banshees definitely can they can target the Ravagers fairly quickly. And if nothing else, they can go harass the base in the meantime, right?
Yeah, they can target Ravagers, they can target Banelings. Speaking of, we do see that Banshee. Oh, no! I was just about to praise you, SpeCial, but he loses the Banshee to Biles of all things. Ay.
I am facepalming right now. I am not looking at the screen.
It's okay, he's making another one.
We spent like the last 10 seconds, 20 seconds talking about how the Banshee is useful because there's no anti-air.
Yeah. Mate, who needs anti-air when you have Ravagers, mate? Okay, that's all you need.
Oh god.
Speaking of, we do have a kind of a pseudo base trade going on. We do have the Ling Bane getting on top of some of these tanks, but there's still so many of them. The Roach Ravager trying to break through. Is this really the best move here? He cannot get up that ramp.
Yeah, he did take down quite a few of tanks, but there's still so much many more on the high ground, and the attack on his bases is not cleaned up either.
The second Banshee gets sniped out of the sky with those vials again. But yes, as you were saying, the Hellbat push did take out a hatchery. What's very important to note though, as you can tell on the left, no drones died. The base was evacuated.
I am still shaking my head at that Banshee. SpeCial, what have you done?
Oh god. Meanwhile, to be fair, Solar's also throwing away some units here. Like, what, 6 Ravagers just went down for free trying to push into these tanks. At the same time, oh no, Ravagers is not the time. Okay, they do finish morphing in, and they should be enough to push away this army as well. And I guess what I was getting at is that, sure, Solar lost the base, but because he kept all his workers alive, and he double expanded, like, his economy is fine.
Yeah, I mean, like Solar has so many bases that it's fairly easy for him to just move the workers to another place. There's a third Banshee. I want to see this Banshee survive, okay?
Third Banshee, let's go! As the queens are actually targeting it down, we do have Biles trying to connect with the tanks. The tanks are not sieged, by the way. I don't know if this is the best move here for SpeCial. He does force the army back, but he did end up losing a decent amount of his tanks.
It did, but there was a line of tanks in the back that was sieged, so they're kinda giving him a backup. That said, with these blinding clouds, a lot of them are falling down.
Exactly, like I'm really worried about the supply for SpeCial. To be fair, Solar supply is dropping as well. At the same time, it looks like there was a bailing run by 14 SCVs just went down across the map. SpeCial still has plenty of workers to work with, so it's not the biggest of deals, but it's just so impressive every single time Solar is able to counterattack whenever there's an army in his face.
That said, this special army is on the doorstep of Solar, and he once again has enough to hold this, I believe, but the Terran army is going deeper and deeper into the Zerg territory.
Yeah, and the blinding clouds are amazing. All these tanks are going to be going down, and it's so difficult. It takes so long to replenish these tanks. I don't know if SpeCial can rebuild them in time to defend. Solar, he wants to try and push across the map. He wants to try and press this advantage, but it looks like he just doesn't have enough supply. Maybe? He's trying. He's going for it.
I don't think so. No, yeah, with all these cyclones, the Ravages are just not strong enough.
It's a fourth Banshee, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, just follow it. Just follow it.
What I will say is that the third one didn't die to Biles. The third one died to Queens. So there's that at least.
Yeah, I guess that's more honorable, right?
Yeah,
because you can't really dodge queens, right? Right? SpeCial?
It's fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, no, these Threelings gonna get a tank. At the same time, the Cyclone army is forced all the way back. And yo, with the death of this tank, this position is significantly weaker.
And as you say that it wasn't bad.
Oh,
never mind.
And sure, there are tanks on the high ground, but what about this CC? What about the workers?
Yeah, there were so many workers in this base.
Banshee! Ah!
He dodges!
He did it!
Yes!
He did it!
He did it! And now the Zerg army is in his base.
Yeah, now all the tanks are dying horribly.
Hey, the Banshee survived.
True, the Banshee's live and the Banshee is doing the best he can, just shelling away at the army on the ground, but there's just not enough else here. All the tanks had gone down. It was a bit of a snowball, a domino effect, if you will. SpeCial, he just kept losing tank after tank, and there is nothing left, only a handful of Cyclones. Solar, he's trying to break into the natural base, but maybe the reinforcements can hold, especially with the Banshee.
Yeah, the Banshee is actually doing its job right now, like targeting unit after unit, and Solar is slowly running out of forces with the reinforcements from SpeCial.
He is. The problem is that his economy has been left untouched, and he can just keep rebuilding this. Solar, he's just throwing his army at the wall, and the wall is falling. The wall of SpeCial is crumbling before him. I see Thorn in the chat like, yo, SpeCial's army is a little bit more, like, there's a little bit more finesse to it. And you're not wrong, it is more high-tech, but, like, Solar just has so much money to work with that he can just keep throwing this inferior army, and the mech just crumbles.
I think that's also kind of I don't want to say the theme of Solar today, but like Solar just seems relentless. Like once he starts attacking, there's no stopping him. He just keeps going. Like wave after wave after wave again. He does not back down.
Yeah. Sometimes for better or worse, he does have quite like a bloodthirst to him today. And yeah, it's just been insane. And of course, I don't want to undersell this, but another big part of this is his run buys. Like his ability to just keep killing SCVs after SCVs with Ling and Bane run buys has been insane, and that's also why SpeCial has been struggling to keep up.
His Banshee is still alive, by the way. Yeah, 17 kills.
Yeah, 17 kill Banshee. Let's go. Like, it's actually putting in a lot of work. And this is where you could argue that maybe Solar is like overextending right now. Like he's just being spread so thin. But doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because the army of SpeCial does not look that big anymore, and he's killing more and more SCVs, which makes it even harder to rebuild this mech army.
Yeah, exactly. Like SpeCial takes control of the high ground, but he gives up a base, a planetary at that, with 18 SCVs. Like, these are losses that SpeCial cannot afford. Mules are pretty good, don't get me wrong, but mules, they're not that good.
Yeah, probably not.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look.
Solar,
he's actually moving the CC from the bottom right.
He's floating it over. What I was gonna say is that look, in the middle of a fight, where he's got cyclones in his face, Solar sends Lynx across the map. Like
Yeah.
it's
I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not? No fear, mate. No fear.
I mean, like all of the forces of SpeCial are busy with this frontal attack here, which is actually not that big when you look at it. But those Zerglings at the back are gonna do even more damage.
Yeah, 5 SCVs go down. They dive on top of the Hellions and Cyclones. Hellions and Cyclones were weakened from earlier, so these things actually do get damage done, and they do trade relatively efficiently. And now this kind of weakens the frontal army. Now that the tanks are kind of naked.
Yeah, the Cyclones move back to defend, and now the tanks are gonna get sniped one after one.
Oh my god, and again, tanks are the backbone of Special's army, and losing them like this is so devastating.
Yeah, once again, we are left with the Cyclones and Hellions versus Blink Ravager, I guess? With the Banes being morphed as well. And Solar takes it.
Solar does take it. GG. Well played. Congratulations. Solar takes the entire series 2-0.
There you go.
GG. And now it's been nice here in the land of the Americas, but we should be hopping over to Europe.
Yes. I mean, not just Europe. We should be moving to Poland.
You're already there, mate. You're already there. Let's go.
There you go. I was prepared.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, massive shout out to Solar and SpeCial. They both played incredibly well. They also got up and stayed up at really irregular times to play in a European focused event. So it's not the easiest thing to do. So again, massive shout out to them for being a part of Kashynical Open.
Yeah, like for Solar it was fairly late, but it was not also like an ideal time for SpeCial either, because it's fairly early in Mexico as well.
He likes to sleep in.
Yeah, they showed up. Look.
Yeah, they did, and it's really great for them to participate and be a part of this event. I'm sure Cynical and Kashim are very grateful of that as well. They bring the quality from outside of the region here, right? This is a European focused event, but we had a Korean and we had someone representing NA as well here in the semifinals. So massive shout out to them. But now we go back to Europa and we have 2 other Polish players waiting for us.